You ever watch your whole life collapse in front of you, and realize the person who just lit the match is the same one you kissed goodnight the night before? Yeah. That happened to me. I'm Ethan Monroe. I built a multi-million-dollar digital security company from scratch. No trust fund. No silver spoon. Just me, a laptop, and a relentless obsession with proving everyone wrong. By the time I hit 35, I had a penthouse in Manhattan, 3 luxury cars, and a portfolio that could make a shark blush. But what I didn't have, was someone to share it all with. Enter Ava Blake. God, I wish I never met her. I saw her at a charity gala in Tribeca, one of those events where everyone pretends to care about orphan dolphins or rainforest frogs but just wants to get featured in Vogue. Ava didn't look like the other women in their overpriced gowns and plastic smiles. She had this quiet elegance, a soft confidence that made you want to know her secrets. Tall, with wavy black hair, and hazel eyes that shimmered like gold dust. Her laugh. It made the world feel lighter. She was standing alone, sipping wine, when I walked over and introduced myself. I expected a polite nod or maybe some small talk. But Ava? She looked at me, smiled, and said, I know who you are. You do. You're the guy who turned a $1,000 freelance gig into an empire. Ethan Monroe, tech security genius. You wear Rolexes but never on your wrist. You tuck them into your pocket. I was stunned. No one had ever studied me like that before. It was flattering. Addictive. We talked for hours. And that night, as I dropped her off at her loft in Soho, she kissed me like we'd known each other in another lifetime. Within weeks, she was practically living with me. She claimed she was a freelance art curator but barely talked about her work. I didn't care. She made me feel alive. She laughed at my dry humor, cooked dinner in nothing but one of my dress shirts, and always smelled like vanilla and smoke. I didn't realize then that I was being played like a violin. She made me trust her. Slowly. Skillfully. She'd ask small questions, casual ones. How many employees do you have again, or where do you keep your emergency funds? She'd laugh them off when I raised a brow. I'm just curious. I like knowing everything about you. I thought it was sweet. Stupid me. A few months into our relationship, I hit a rough patch at work. A massive data breach hit one of our clients, and I spent weeks buried in damage control. During that time, Ava stepped up like a queen. Let me take care of things at home, she said. You focus on your company. I've got you. And damn, did she have me. She reorganized the apartment. Paid my bills. Even started helping my personal assistant with appointments and errands. The woman was everywhere. Caring. Attentive. Dangerous. One night, over red wine and soft music, she dropped a bomb. I've been thinking about starting a business, she said. A high-end art investment firm. I already have a name, Eclipse Atelier. I've lined up 3 private collectors. She looked at me with those eyes, full of ambition and fire. I just need capital. How much? I asked. 500,000. Maybe 6. I didn't even blink. Done. I wired the money the next day. That was the beginning of the end. Over the next 6 months, Ava became different. Colder. Distant. Her texts became shorter. She started traveling more, claiming it was to meet investors and clients. I tried to ignore the signs. I wanted to believe she loved me. But then she started making little slips. A receipt from a hotel in Dubai when she told me she was in Chicago. A strange man's watch in her luggage. A wire transfer from my joint account to a company I'd never heard of. I confronted her. Calmly. She smiled. You're overthinking things, Ethan. Am I? I held up her phone. Then who's Blake Reiner, and why are you sending him 20 grand a month? Her eyes didn't even twitch. He's a silent partner in Eclipse. I'm paying him off for old debts. Really? I said. Because he's also the co-founder of that fake startup that scammed one of my clients last year. And the bank account you've been wiring money to? It's in the Caymans. That was the moment she changed. She stood up, slowly, like a snake uncoiling. The sweetness in her voice vanished. You really thought you were the smart one in this relationship, didn't you? I froze. I studied you for months before I met you, Ethan. I knew everything, your habits, your company structure, your weaknesses. You were my mark. And you played your part perfectly. My chest tightened. She walked toward the door. By the way, I never loved you. I loved your money. Your world. Your naivety. You won't get away with this. She turned and smirked. I already did. The door closed behind her, and just like that, Ava Blake disappeared. She wiped nearly $4 million clean from my accounts. Between the business investments, forged transfer approvals, and crypto diversions, she gutted my personal fortune. Worse. She made sure to do it while my company was under scrutiny for the earlier breach, making my credibility plummet. Investors panicked. Stockholders bailed. I lost control of my board seat within weeks. I went from penthouse king to renting a one-bedroom in Queens. Friends vanished. Clients stopped returning my calls. The internet laughed. Tech bro scammed by gold digger. Reddit had a field day. But I wasn't broken. Not yet. I hired a PI, old-school guy named Vince Mercer. Smoked cigars, wore trench coats like it was still 1975. You sure you want to do this? He asked. Most guys like you lick their wounds and move on. I want her found, I said. I want every lie, every account, every damn identity she ever used. And when I find her, I want her to know who put her in cuffs. It took Vince 7 months. Ava had vanished off the grid. She'd used a network of fake passports, shell corporations, and burner phones. She was working with a team, 3 men, 2 women, all of them scammers, fraud artists, chameleons. But Vince found her. Not in Europe. Not in Dubai. In Los Angeles. She was living under the name Sasha Vale, owner of a luxury brand PR firm, dating a tech influencer, and rubbing shoulders with celebrities. She had dyed her hair blonde, changed her face slightly, new nose, fuller lips, but I recognized her. Those eyes. I flew to LA, disguised myself, and got into one of her private networking events posing as a VC looking to invest in women-led ventures. She didn't recognize me at first. But the second our eyes met, her pupils dilated. A flicker of fear. And I smiled. I walked up to her, shook her hand, and whispered in her ear, "Miss me?" She turned pale. The next 24 hours were a blur. She ran. I followed. Vince had already tipped off the FBI. Turns out, Ava wasn't just scamming me. She had over 15 victims across 3 countries. She was arrested at a private airstrip just outside Burbank, trying to flee in a rented jet. Watching her being cuffed and dragged away. Not as satisfying as I thought it'd be. She looked at me as they took her, and for the first time, she looked broken. "You ruined me," she hissed. "No, Ava," I said, "you ruined yourself." The trials dragged out for months. She pled guilty to multiple counts of fraud, theft, and money laundering. Sentenced to 22 years in federal prison. I got back less than a quarter of what she stole. But I got something better, my life back. I rebuilt, slowly. Started a new company, ironically, one that specializes in protecting high-profile individuals from digital and financial fraud. Now I give TED Talks. I speak on podcasts. I warn others like me. Sometimes I still think about her. About how I loved her. About how I held her while she slept, never knowing she was dreaming of my downfall. If there's a hell, I hope she's dreaming of me now. Because trust? It's a dangerous thing in the wrong hands.